This is your weekly real estate update for the greater Portland, Maine area. These are closed sales in the last 7 days, median numbers. So really not much actually changed in Maine the last week. The list to sale ratio remained at 100%. I really think that's going to go up in the next couple of weeks. The median days on market stayed flat at 8%. The average closed price stayed at $475,000, so not much change there. We did see a little uptick in the interest rates this week. We'll talk more about that later, but we went over 7% at one point this week, and the average 30-year fixed was 6.86%. U.S. inflation, of course, at 2.3%. So big changes in the U.S. economy that could have an effect on real estate this past week. Everybody has a credit score, even the U.S. government. And this past week, Moody's gave the United States a little bit of a spanking. We went from a AAA rating to an AA1 rating, which meant that the United States dropped quite a few places in our rating. We're now ninth among sovereign countries in terms of credit ratings. And really, to be honest, our credit rating probably should be lower because of those top 20, we have our debt to GDP ratio is worse than any other country besides Japan, and our federal deficit at 6.4% is worse than any other country in the top 20 rated countries in the world. So honestly, the downgrade probably wasn't enough by the numbers. But what did that downgrade mean to the US economy and to real estate? So creditworthiness means that people are happy to get your debt. And so when you get downgraded, the ability to sell that debt at a good rate is of course affected. So the bond market reacted this week. And when the bond market reacted, that's when we saw mortgage interest rates go up a little bit. Overall, I think that this is going to create more conversation and fear around the US economy and our debt situation. It's been there for a while. We've been downgraded by two other agencies in the last 5 years. This is just the third one to finally say, you guys need to look at these deficits. You need to look at these ratios and get this thing under control. Also, this past week, we had a big drop in builder confidence, 6 points to 34. And that is the lowest it's been since November 2023, when we saw rates climb up to 8% interest rates. I think that the builder confidence drop-off was created by both the tariffs and the interest rates not being where they wanted them to be. But keep in mind that this survey was taken before that trade deal with China actually was announced and took place. So if they took the survey today, you might actually see a little bit more confidence from the builders. If you are a buyer or a seller right now, I think it's important to keep your broad eyes open and understand some of this stuff and how it can affect you. Because having the U.S. credit rating changed like that could have a great impact on the bond market. You can have a great impact on your interest rates. And so if you've been waiting for rates to come down since 2024 and now the opposite might happen, you should be aware of that. And you should make sure that you don't continue to wait when these things outside of your control can happen to your situation. If you're a seller right now, it's important to recognize that year over year, we're seeing a little bit less demand nationally, less offers per listing. Days on the market still ticked up a little bit. We're still up 1.2% year over year nationally. In the state of Maine, we're up even more. My experience personally this past week in Maine was that we had multiple offers on all sorts of properties in all areas in southern Maine. So I would say that really keep, as always, an eye on your local market. How is it behaving? If you have questions about this stuff, reach out anytime.